Well, first of all, you're going to see that this is God Rules channel, and this is Tony, or Anthony Woodcock, and he is the first YouTube channel Christian that I found that has all of these wonderful, I mean, these were done 2 years ago, that all of these different Bible discernment and ministry that he has put out on YouTube of what the Bible says about divorce and marriage. What does it say about, about hell? What does it say about to be, Christian and gay, and or to be a lesbian and gay? What does the Bible really say about it? And Tony has, a history about sex and marriage, and he was really, kudos to Tony, because I found on his channel here finally a Christian who supported the fact that I was gay and that I loved the Lord and that I wanted to be part of the church and to serve the Lord and have my little ministry here. And he challenged me to go ahead and, well, he challenged all Christians to start a YouTube channel so that we could work together and we can spread God's message. And I have a very small niche, if you will, in my ministry, and that is that I talk about being a Christian and also being gay, and so my following isn't going to be maybe that huge, I'm sure, and that I also try to put other things into that, like what is happening prophetically, what's happening with Israel, what's happening with what Revelation says is according to John and his vision, how the Lord brought him up to the different levels of heaven and showed him what is going to be happening in these end times that I believe that we are living in. And so Tony's got God Rules, and he has Lightning Ministries, and he's got a channel on business. He has his own home business, and so he's quite busy. And and he tries to interview people as well, and he's just got a terrific channel here, and I wanted to give him a shout out and kudos, and to get more people to his channel as well. And I think that he's an excellent Bible scholar, even though he wasn't. I know he had Bible classes at his campus that he was on, but I don't think that was his major. His major had to do more with, I think he talks about mechanics and math, and he's a mathematical engineer and that kind of a thing. So wasn't even his his major, but God had other plans for him, I think. So I think you'd agree with me. And then the other channel that I wanted to give a shout out to is the Brian Bowen Ministries. And if you go to his channel, you will see this is his channel, and he has all of these tabs here that you can click on and see he's got the pastor study, so he talks to pastors as well, and he engages them in email conversation. I think he's done maybe a few visits. He's out in the Texas area, and Dr. Gannon was the first evangelical scholar who said that he believed that indeed the today's homosexual was the ancient eunuch in Jesus's day. So that's Brian Bowen's Ministries. that you can look at, but he has got a ton of things, and I sent him some things as well, like what I just showed you on my other channel, different resources and downloads and so forth. So I didn't know he had this LGBT devotionals. That's, oh, okay. All right. I was thinking of something else. All right. And he's got different videos that he's put out. He has audio things that he talks about. Jesus, Jews, and Gays. I don't think I've heard that one, but the Holy Land for Gaza, the Holy Land for Gays. Well, that is where the Ethiopian eunuch was, And he's got different articles that he has downloaded as well. He used to call himself, the Brian Bowen, the bed keeper, but now it's just Brian Bowen Ministries, which I think is really nice. And I like his channel here and how he's got it all set up. So I wanted to bring that in as well. Yeah, and so I've already shown you this before, but no, I didn't want to do that, sorry. Okay, so yeah, so I guess I could just leave it on there, but let me see here. Let me put go back here. Okay. Okay. And I've got different channels that I look at here that you can take a look at as well. On my I look at all different pastors and stuff like that as well, to see what they're talking about, and if there's anything that I can answer that okay, like the Kiona House, that's Chuck Missler's channel that I look at, and different people that I have subscribed to. So just wanted to kind of give you that look there. So anyway, getting back to what I wanted, this is just kind of going to be more of what I wanted to share with you. There was just one other one that I wanted to share as well, and I don't know that I can find it or not. Yeah, I just, I thought that even the Wikipedia was quite interesting, what they had to say, especially when you talk about the singers in the church, and what their different offices were. What did gay people do? Back in the day, they were marginalized and really no different than today's gay and lesbian person, LGBT person was treated. Some were treated nicely, some were beloved family members, some were ostracized, some were slaves, some were not treated very well at all. So it just really depends on what you're looking at. But anyway, just to to talk about the eunuch here for a second. I wanted to kind of go back to what I was talking about as far as my part of this is a documentary, really, of this book that hopefully I'll be able to write, or maybe this will just be good enough, the way that I'm doing it. I haven't really, God hasn't really shown me anything else just yet. So, but I wanted to let you guys know that I really love the spiritual feeling that I received after a great sermon, being in church. I loved listening to the wonderful Amen choir that started at that Baptist church, and the living Christmas tree, and all of the music that we had, and the shows that we would give out to bring the community together, and people would come from all over to see some of these shows, and it would always had a spiritual message, and so it was just great. And I loved the choir under John Gustafson, under his tutelage, and there was also a smaller portion of the church that was the deaf church, where my mom and Dad were a part of that. My father was a deacon, and so he also was a youth minister along with my mother, and we called that church the Deaf Church, because everybody that went to that chapel was deaf, and all their children were hearing. Very rarely did I see anybody that was deaf or hard of hearing, so I loved playing with all of the kids, and we would run around, and we were like kids, we were just kids, and some of the older folks, of course, didn't appreciate it, and so what are you going to do? You try to behave, try to be a good kid, and so anyway, we had a great time playing hide and seek and that kind of thing in the church. So and it wasn't until, of course, I was 11 years old, and I realized that I wasn't going to be a tomboy forever, and I of course started to go into puberty, and I went through the change, and all of a sudden I started to develop, and started to get my menstrual cycle and all of that good stuff, and talk about a change. I was just like, I remember I was at a pool with my mother, and when it had happened, and my mom was all excited about the change, and I was like, what? I saw in the auditorium in elementary school. I went to Highlander. They showed, all of the girls in the 11th and 12th grade or 10th grade, and there was a certain group of only girls that could come in, that could watch this very 1950s, what to expect when you are going through puberty, and all about the birds and the bees kind of a thing, and it was very quite naive and juvenile if you were to look at it today. And I didn't know that I was any really different than any of the guys that I was playing with, or until I went through puberty. I can remember getting looks from mothers down the street from the park where I played at, and wondering why they're looking at me so weird, and giving me these dirty looks, and well, it was because I was playing football with their sons, and basketball, and football, and baseball, and they were looking at me, and why wasn't my mother making sure that I wasn't playing with them, or something to that effect? And I didn't understand. I was like, I was having a great time, and I didn't know what the guys were really up to. So,